Have you ever wondered why certain dreams feel so alive in your imagination, yet so distant in your reality? You see them so clearly: success, love, freedom, health, yet somehow they slip through your fingers like smoke. You try harder, push more, chase endlessly, and still, the life you long for feels just out of reach. But what if the problem isn't effort at all? What if the bridge between longing and living has always been in the way you see? There is a hidden truth whispered by sages and confirmed by science. What you hold in your mind with clarity, consistency, and emotion eventually takes root in your life. It is not wishful thinking, nor blind fantasy. Visualization is not about pretending. It is about aligning the unseen with the seen. When done with depth, it becomes the architect's blueprint for reality itself. And yet, most people use this power unconsciously, leaving their inner movie unfocused, blurred, and incomplete. So the question becomes, how do you visualize in such a way that it actually shows up in reality? Every great creation begins twice, first in the mind, then in the world. An architect sketches before building. A composer hears the melody before it is ever played. In the same way, visualization is the mind's blueprint, a living design whispered into the fabric of existence. You are not simply imagining for entertainment. You are planting seeds in the soil of your subconscious. And this connects directly to the feeling of being stuck, the sense of running in place mentioned earlier. Without a clear inner design, life tends to recycle the same patterns, leaving you wandering in circles. Visualization becomes the way out, the bridge between what feels distant and what can be lived. Clarity is the foundation of this blueprint. A vague dream like, "I want to be happy," or "I want success," is like handing an architect a blank page and expecting a skyscraper to rise. What does happiness look like to you? Is it found in strong health, meaningful work, travel, or family? What shape does success take in your imagination? Your brain, much like a navigator, requires exact coordinates to guide you. The clearer you draw the inner picture, the stronger the pull becomes toward it. Visualization begins working when your goal is not a blur, but a vivid image that feels real in your inner world. Yet clarity on its own cannot carry the dream forward. Consistency is what breathes life into the vision. A single picture imagined once is a spark. It flickers and fades. Returning to the vision again and again is what keeps the fire alive. Each time you revisit your dream in detail, your subconscious absorbs it more deeply until it becomes familiar, almost inevitable. Just as a garden does not flourish after one watering, your future does not grow from a single glimpse. It is nourished through repetition, a steady rhythm of mental rehearsal that builds strength and certainty over time. This union of clarity and consistency forms the true blueprint of the mind. Together, they program your inner GPS and set you on a defined path. Buddha's words echo here: the mind is everything. What you think, you become. Visualization is the act of choosing what your mind is allowed to become and then engraving it into your subconscious until reality begins to bend around it. When practiced with detail and regularity, visualization stops being daydreaming and starts becoming destiny, an inner design that life itself begins to honor. Visualization does not stop with a clear mental picture. Once the blueprint of the mind has been drawn, the next step is to breathe life into it through the senses. Seeing alone is too shallow. Your subconscious responds most powerfully when you step fully into the vision, when you feel, hear, smell, and even taste the reality you are creating. Imagine walking into the picture you've drawn, inhabiting it with the fullness of your being. This is where the blueprint begins to transform into lived experience, because your mind cannot distinguish between what is vividly imagined and what is physically encountered. Think of a snowy mountain scene. You don't just watch the white landscape from a distance, you step into it. You feel the bite of cold air brushing your skin. You hear the crunch of snow beneath your boots. You smell the pine carried by the wind, and you sense the warmth of your winter coat hugging your body despite the chill. The more detail you add, the more convincing the scene becomes. This practice is not fantasy, it is mental training. Each time you imagine vividly, you are teaching your subconscious what reality to believe in and move toward. Science affirms this truth. Brain scans reveal that when a person vividly imagines performing an action, the same neural pathways activate as if they were physically doing it. Athletes use this to their advantage, rehearsing routines in their minds and improving performance without moving a muscle. In the same way, you can rehearse the life you long to live. Whether it is delivering a confident presentation, stepping into a new home, or celebrating a personal milestone, your mind prepares your body and spirit for the moment by experiencing it in advance. Daily consistency strengthens this inner rehearsal. A single immersion is not enough to shift your subconscious. Just as in the previous section, repetition nourishes the seed, only here, the seed is being enriched by sensory detail. Returning to your vision with full sensory engagement makes it familiar, almost second nature. When the real situation arrives, it no longer feels foreign. You respond with confidence because you have already lived the moment countless times within. Visualization becomes less of a distant dream and more of a memory you are stepping back into. James Allen's insight comes alive here. You are today where your thoughts have brought you. You will be tomorrow where your thoughts take you. Training the inner senses is what gives your thoughts the weight of reality. Each detail is a brushstroke on the canvas of the mind, and over time, the picture becomes so real within that it begins to manifest without. Through sensory immersion, visualization ceases to be imagination alone. It becomes rehearsal for the reality you are actively calling into existence. Once the inner senses have been trained to make your visions feel real, the subconscious mind begins its quiet work. If the conscious mind is the artist sketching on the canvas, the subconscious is the craftsman shaping the raw materials of life. It takes what you give it, whether fear or faith, clarity or confusion, and builds it into the structure of your reality. Unlike the conscious mind, which questions and analyzes, the subconscious accepts without judgment. It responds to repetition, to vivid images, to emotion. This is why the detailed, sensory-rich visualization practice consistently becomes so powerful. You are feeding your subconscious the blueprint of your future. The subconscious cannot distinguish between what is vividly imagined and what is physically lived. To it, both are instructions. When you visualize health, wealth, success, or love in full sensory detail, your subconscious records it as truth and begins working silently to align your habits, decisions, and awareness with that image. Suddenly, you notice opportunities that were once invisible, or you feel drawn to choices that match your inner picture. What looks like coincidence from the outside is, in reality, your subconscious following the design it has been given. Think of it as a compass. Once set, the needle always points in the chosen direction, no matter the storms or distractions along the way. Without visualization, the subconscious drifts, absorbing random impressions from the world around you. With visualization, it is given a clear North Star. It begins steering you steadily toward your chosen destination, adjusting your thoughts and behaviors without you having to force every move consciously. This is why many people find themselves lucky once they begin consistent visualization. Luck is often the subconscious aligning them with what they have been rehearsing within. Every great invention, achievement, and transformation has followed this path. Before a plane flew, it existed in the imagination of the Wright brothers. Before a symphony was heard, it was already alive in the mind of the composer. The subconscious is the silent architect that translates vision into form, and visualization is the language through which it receives its instructions. When you consistently impress your inner world with the reality you desire, the subconscious begins constructing it brick by brick, until what was once unseen becomes the foundation of your lived experience. As the subconscious begins its silent work, the results may not always appear immediately. Just like seeds buried beneath the earth, visualization often produces growth long before anything can be seen on the surface. In the same way that a gardener trusts the process, watering, nurturing, and waiting, you too must allow your visions time to unfold. The subconscious is reorganizing patterns, reshaping beliefs, and aligning circumstances in ways you cannot always measure day by day. Patience is not inaction, it is confidence in the unseen. This hidden stage of growth is where many give up. They visualize for a time, but when no instant results appear, doubt replaces faith. Yet the soil does not reveal its work until the right moment. A sprout emerges only when it has developed strong enough roots to survive above ground. In the same way, the results of visualization emerge when your inner foundation has been set, when the subconscious has fully accepted the image as reality and begins directing your life to meet it. Abandoning the practice too soon is like pulling up a seed to see if it has grown, only to kill its chance of ever breaking through. When the sprouts finally appear, they often come disguised as opportunities, chance meetings, or sudden ideas. A person crosses your path at just the right time. A thought arises that points you to a new possibility. A situation you once dismissed now looks like an open door. These are not accidents. They are the first signs of your visualization taking root in the visible world. What you rehearsed within is now finding expression without. To recognize them, you must stay attuned, because the universe often answers in subtle whispers before it roars. Health, wealth, and relationships all follow this law of gradual unfolding. The body responds slowly but surely to images of vitality and strength. Financial opportunities emerge when your mind has been trained to expect and notice them. Loving connections grow as you consistently see yourself as worthy of them. Like seeds, each area of life requires consistent care and trust. Visualization is the daily watering, the sunlight of belief, and the protection from weeds of doubt. With time, the garden of your mind breaks through the soil of reality, and what was once invisible begins to bloom before your eyes. When the seeds of visualization begin to push through the soil of your reality, they must be met with action. Without action, even the clearest and most consistent vision remains a drawing on paper, never transformed into a structure you can inhabit. Visualization prepares the mind, but your choices and behaviors give the vision weight in the physical world. Just as a gardener waters and tends to sprouts when they finally appear, you must nurture the opportunities that emerge from your subconscious work. Action is not separate from visualization, it is its natural extension. Think of visualization as setting the stage. You have rehearsed the role, memorized the lines, and felt the emotions of success. But when the curtain rises, you must step onto the stage and perform. Reality responds when you align your outer actions with your inner pictures. Each decision you make becomes a brushstroke, giving form and color to the canvas you have held in your mind. Without those brushstrokes, the image never leaves the imagination. Together, vision and action form a partnership that makes manifestation inevitable. Norman Vincent Peale's words, "Change your thoughts and you change your world," hold their full power here. Thoughts are the beginning, but they must be embodied. When you see your future vividly, feel it deeply, and then act in harmony with it, the invisible and visible merge. Life no longer feels accidental. You begin to live as a conscious creator. Visualization plants the seed, but action is the sunlight that helps it grow strong. When both are united, the life once only imagined becomes the life you are living. Visualization is not a trick of the mind. It is the natural power of consciousness shaping matter. You hold within you the ability to draft the blueprint of your life, to train your subconscious, and to turn invisible seeds into visible fruits. But it only works when done with clarity, consistency, feeling, and the courage to act. It's no longer a hidden secret. It's a practice, a harmony between the visions you hold within and the choices you make each day. The mind serves as the canvas. while your actions become the brushstrokes that bring the picture to life. When you create with intention and move in alignment with what you've seen inside, the masterpiece of your life begins to unfold before you.